May 2022. This isn't financial advice. So I just want to go over some individual trades that I've made. I'm getting stopped out unnecessarily, I think, even though I'm sort of picking quite good charts. So yeah, today I'm just going to focus on small picture stuff. So let's go through some and see what conclusions I'm drawing. So the first one's CNQ. I got stopped out of this one, so I bought it 16th of May. Here, shaking out, recovered the 50-day. Yeah, bought it there, then got stopped out a few days later at 59.91. So one of these days here. And then it sort of turned around and moved again. So first thing I'm drawing here is, I think the actual stock selection was pretty good. Great sector, nice strong sort of price action. Got shaken out from the 50-day, recovered, and sort of just wiggled around and moved on. I don't think the stop was too tight on this one. But nevertheless, I've been stopped out, and this is sort of a bit of a recurring theme for today. I'm getting stopped out of good stocks. One thing I'm sort of seriously thinking, I'm sort of waiting for a stock to have, so in this case, 1, 2, 3 good days, and then buying it after recover the 50-day moving average. Now, in this very sort of choppy market, a 3-day run is actually pretty good. So I think I'm just actually asking for trouble, waiting to buy when everything's sort of set back up again. The more I'm doing this, I think there's just so many people who are just buying when it recovers at 50 days. So I'm kind of buying when a bunch of other traders are, and lo and behold, we're getting shaken out, and the thing sort of turns and goes again. Next stock is ZIM. Now I had options this one. I actually sold it here just going into an ex-dividend date. Happy with that. Sold it, the rest here immediately after I saw it. I thought, I've made a mistake here, haven't I? Sort of had a huge sort of upside reversal day off the 200-day moving average here. And I've got to remember, this is, again, like a very strong stock in a very weak market. I mean, look at the S&Ps that are just flailing around here, and this thing is just been powering along. So yeah, I think sorry, that was the original trade, the options, and I rebought the stock again when I recovered the 50-day moving average. So what date was that? Here, and then got stopped out. So again, I'm sort of seem to be buying after a few good days, and just to see it come back above the 50-day moving average, and just getting stopped out. So again, am I just buying when everyone else is? Like, yeah, quite possibly. And I think the other mistake I made was, so this was earnings here. I got a bit sort of worried about future earnings coming down in this. However, sort of just held steady here, and I think probably, in all honesty, I should have been sort of either back in it, or even sort of just tried my luck on this sort of upside reversal day here when there was just a proper vomit. I'm hoping this sort of gives me another opportunity to buy back in. Yeah, not sure. Okay, next one is XOM. I did sell this at a profit, but I've left a lot of money on the table here. I sold it, I think it was this day here. I was actually glad just to lock in a profit at the time. That's not necessarily a bad thing in itself, but what I should have done, I think, in hindsight, is taken, say, half off, and then move the stop to break even, and then just let the rest run. So yeah, I'm gonna sort of trade management is very clearly a thing of mine. Again, strong sector, you just don't know what it's going to do. But I was just keen to lock in a profit at the time. PBR, another one I got stopped out of, and for some stupid reason, why didn't I just buy it? Well, I'll tell you why I didn't buy it. So at earnings, wasn't in it then. That's sort of the correct thing to do. But it was sort of just had obviously huge earnings, sitting on the 50-day moving average. I didn't rebuy it. Had an opportunity to rebuy it for the next few days. Now again, I'm thinking, it's just sitting below the 50-day moving average. Doesn't really matter in the bigger scheme of things, because long term the chart looks good. It's come back to previous resistance here, which is now sort of turned into support. At least that's the theory. And then look at it, it's just turn around and go on. So I've left really good money on the table with that one just by not getting back into it. AEE, I've got another one I got stopped out of. It's looking good for me. I'm not. Right, I bought it $93.31. Yeah, bought it that day there. Look, good chart, like nice long base, pushed out, first pull back to the 50, and then I got stopped out. Now I think I made the mistake here. My stop loss was only 1.75%. I think I just ran way too tight a stop here. Just didn't give it really enough room to have a bit of wiggle time here. I was sort of just consolidating around the 50. Who cares if it's a bit above, a bit below? Doesn't really matter. And I got myself stopped out. It's just bang, it's going. So running too tight a stop in this one. And again, I bought it as it reclaimed the 50 after a bit of a shakeout, a few good days. Doesn't really matter if it's just sitting below the 50 a bit when, I'm really thinking not. Otherwise, like I said, the chart's really good, strong sector utilities. Right, the next one is ALB. I mentioned in a previous video this wasn't a trade for me. I could see why other people were buying it. I was kind of right and wrong at the same time. I would have been stopped out, but it's sort of starting to power along a bit now. You can't really see the volume signature there, but huge volume there. For me, still is in stage 3, not a hugely strong sector. I'm not unhappy I didn't buy this one, but also happy to concede. This might be this might turn out to be a good trade for people who took it, and I didn't take it. Next one, just going off piste a bit. Snapchat. This was a trade. It got hammered by something like 40% a few days ago on earnings. I went back over my notes, and so this was a good 2020 and 2021 trade for me. I actually sold out the rest here. I think I had like one final crack at buying it way up here, and I sold around here somewhere. And it's just amazing when these things break down. They can really break down. This was like tech was getting very tired here at this point. The valuations were gone through the roof. First earnings miss here. If I hadn't have sold it here, I would have had to just force myself to take it on the chin and sell the rest here, because that chart was broken at that point. It's just been broken ever since. And look at it. It's just gone from $70 up here to $14. Crazy stuff. Huh? So stage analysis is just so powerful. This moved into a stage 4. It was getting rejected on the moving averages. The sector was out of favour. The relative strength was on the decline. There was just nothing to love here, and why do it to yourself trying to hold through this sort of move? I'm still in XOM. I haven't managed to get myself stopped out of this one yet. I bought it. Sorry, I don't have the exact date, but it's around here somewhere. So what I'm going to do with this one is when it hits 2 times my risk, I'm going to sell half. I'm sure it's that if it hits 2 times my risk, I'm going to sell half. then move the remaining sort of half stop loss up to break even, and then actually just try and let it run a bit more from here. I'm going to try and give these stocks just a bit more room to do their thing. Again, utilities, nice strong sector. Nothing to not really like about that chart. You could maybe argue that it's already had a big run, but who am I to say it could just power up to 60, 70 bucks, who knows. So conclusions I'm going to take out of this is, and updates I need to make to my business plan. So on the positive news, I'm actually quite happy with my stock selection. I'm really just keeping it simple, keeping my scan to the stronger sectors, stocks that are coming back to a pullback, say around the 50-day moving average or to a 21-day moving average, back to sort of upside type reversal days, back to previous resistance. So I'm actually really happy with that. However, I haven't been making money the last 6 or 7 trades. That sort of bring my stats back down because I've been getting stopped out. The reason I'm getting stopped out is, in one case there I mentioned that my stop loss was too tight. But I think also I'm tending to wait a few days after a stock's had a shakeout, recover to, say, a 50-day moving average, and then buying it then, probably buying when everyone else is, and then it's just having like another little sort of natural wiggle and shaking me out, and then the stock just turns around and goes again. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more creative and buying in a non-obvious area, so he's just below the 50-day moving average, somewhere that still looks a bit like vomitish to people. And yeah, just to see how that goes for me, because like I said, I'm really happy with my stock selection. I've just got to do a better job at the execution of those. And as I get my confidence back, I'll probably start to look at just buying options as well, so I don't have quite the same sort of stopping out risk. The other thing I'm going to start working more on is scaling in and scaling out. I think on one of my previous videos, I put like 3 trades on at once, which is pretty stupid because I hadn't been having a good run the last few trades, so what made me think I could just put all these trades on it was going to work? You go back to like the Mark Minervini notes, they just want to just take their time, so maybe do one and use a profit on that to finance going into the next and scale up that way. I've always found that scaling up part quite hard. I've tended to scale too slow and then I end up scaling up at the, pretty much at the peak. So there's a few, 2 or 3 sort of good videos with Mark Minervini. I'm going to just spend a lot of time just reviewing those and sort of try and take some learnings out of that, because there is a big difference between stock selection and portfolio management. What else? Yeah, so they're probably the main things. Happy with the stock selection. Buy, just try and buy. So have an appropriate stop loss, trade management. So yeah, taking, say, just some profit off and leaving the rest to run. Buying where the stock's still the strong stock, but still looking a bit sick to other traders. So like I say, just floating below the 50-day moving average, or it might have just had a big sell-off and was under there, but it was a huge upside reversal day. Just being a bit more creative on that front. And then going over the Mark Minervini videos to really try and address my sort of portfolio management to make some proper money.